France is going to suffer in this match. Everyone expects the vice champions of the world to march into this stadium and dictate terms with the cold, mechanical precision of a football superpower. They assume the hierarchy of European football will simply crush African ambition. History warns us that empires fall precisely when they believe their borders are impenetrable. What if the script we have all written in our minds is nothing but a collective illusion? What if the tactical arrogance of a heavyweight is exactly what a predator has been waiting for? Every great team believes it will win. The greatest stories are born when something goes wrong. We look at the French national team and we see a collection of devastating individuals. We see an engine room built on physical supremacy and a forward line that can turn a whisper of space into a roaring fire. But beneath the polished armor of the favorites lies a psychological vulnerability that has haunted them for a generation. When France are comfortable, they are majestic. When France are bored, they become their own greatest enemy. It is the curse of the elite. When you have won everything, the hardest thing to find is the willingness to bleed. What happens when they meet an opponent that does not care about their resume? The hunter is waiting in the shadows. Senegal does not arrive at this match looking for a respectable defeat or a heroic exit. They arrive with the memory of 2002 etched into their collective DNA, a historical truth that reminds them giants are made of flesh and bone. They possess a terrifying athletic symmetry that can match European power stride for stride. People think Senegal will defend for 90 minutes and pray for a miracle. That is the first mistake. The real danger is that Senegal has discovered a structural flaw in the French transition. They know that when the French fullbacks bomb forward, they leave oceans of space behind them. They are waiting for the single misplaced pass that triggers the trap. Imagine the 25th minute. France has controlled 70% of the ball. The stadium is quiet, lulled into a false sense of security by the predictable rhythm of passing. Suddenly, a French midfielder hesitates for a microsecond. The trap snaps shut. Senegal wins the ball not in their own penalty box, but in the center circle. 2 passes later, a Senegalese winger is isolated against a retreating, panicked French center back. This is the moment where tactical diagrams burn. This is where a favorite begins to feel the first cold sweat of doubt. What if one mistake changes everything? What if the team built to conquer the world forgets how to track a runner? The burden of greatness is a heavy weight to carry. For the French talisman, a man accustomed to the adulation of millions, this match is a minefield. He carries the responsibility of turning half chances into moments that millions will remember. But what happens when the half chances do not arrive? What happens when he is suffocated by a double-marked defensive block that refuses to bite on his feints? If he grows frustrated, if he drops too deep to look for the ball, the entire French structure collapses into chaos. A hero can become a villain in the span of a single reckless challenge born from desperation. Senegal understands the anatomy of frustration. They are a group of players who have conquered Africa and now look at the world stage not with awe, but with hunger. They are willing to suffer for 80 minutes if they can find 10 seconds of chaos. Their midfield is a graveyard for creative players. They do not look to play beautiful football. They look to dismantle the beauty of their opponent. They want to turn this football match into a physical argument, a grueling test of endurance where the glittering stars of Paris and Madrid must fight for every blade of grass. They want to know if France is ready to get their hands dirty. Yet, this is why champions are the most difficult creatures on earth to destroy. You can wound them, you can isolate them, and you can push them to the very edge of the cliff. But France possesses a collective intelligence that cannot be taught in coaching clinics. They have survived the highest pressure environments the sport can offer. When the tactical plan fails, they rely on the sheer, unadulterated arrogance of winners. They have players who can look at a desperate situation and decide, through individual genius, that failure is simply not an option. They know how to manage the referee, how to slow the tempo, and how to kill the momentum of an idealistic underdog. The match will inevitably evolve into a tactical chess game played at 300 miles per hour. France will try to use their technical superiority to starve Senegal of the ball, attempting to tire them out by making them chase shadows across the wide expanses of the pitch. They want to stretch the Senegalese lines until the gaps appear. Senegal will counter by compressing the space, creating a suffocating net in the central areas. It is a collision between a kingdom trying to protect its crown and a generation trying to rewrite destiny. One side plays to preserve their legacy, the other plays to achieve immortality. What if a forgotten player becomes a legend tonight? Everyone is talking about the superstars, the multi-million-dollar transfers, the cover stars of the video games. But these matches are often decided by the substitute who has spent the last 3 weeks sitting on the bench, chewing his fingernails, waiting for his country to need him. A set piece in the 88th minute, a deflected shot, a slip on the greasy grass. The script of football does not care about reputations. It only cares about who is standing in the right square inch of space when destiny arrives. We're looking down two entirely different timelines. In one future, France asserts its terrifying dominance early, scoring a clinical opening goal that breaks the spirit of the hunter, turning the rest of the evening into an exhibition of European supremacy. In the other future, the nightmare scenario unfolds. Senegal scores first. The French camp begins to argue among themselves. The ghosts of past tournament meltdowns return to haunt them, and the world witnesses the dethroning of a king. Both of these futures are resting quietly inside the locker rooms right now, waiting for the whistle to breathe life into them. If we must look into the crucible and speak a prophecy, the cold logic of the sport points to a French resurrection. Empires do not fall easily when they are forewarned. France has tasted the bitterness of unexpected defeat before, and that scar tissue is their greatest asset. They will likely endure a horrifying opening 45 minutes where Senegal looks stronger, sharper, and hungrier. The Africans will create the chaos they desire, and they may even strike the first blow, sending a shockwave through the footballing world. But the true quality of a kingdom is revealed in how it responds to a rebellion. The most realistic prophecy is one of agonizing resistance followed by clinical execution. France will find themselves on the brink of disaster, pushed back into their own penalty area by a relentless, physical Senegalese assault. But as the minutes tick away, the furious energy of the underdog will begin to wane. The spaces will open up. The French champions will find their composure in the darkest moment of the match. A single flash of elite synchronization, a devastating counterattack executed with the cold indifference of an executioner, will break the Senegalese hearts. Expect a brutal, exhausting 2-1 victory for France, a scoreline that reflects the terror they had to survive to earn it. But that is merely the conclusion of logic. Football has always been a game where logic fights against belief. The tactics are real, the physical data is precise, and the pre-match analysis is flawless. Yet the moment the ball moves, the universe bends to the will of the human spirit. Maybe the favorite will crumble under the weight of their own expectations. Maybe the hunter has truly found the weakness that nobody else could see. Maybe we already know what will happen. Maybe we know nothing. 90 minutes of green grass are about to tell us the truth.